such a great time. 125, 103. Danny, I'm going to pose the question to you first. Obviously, there was a few things that were different about this game compared to game one. Mm-hmm. What were some of the things that stood out to you the most?
The big thing for me was again, this is going to sound tired, but ball going hoop. It's, when you start making threes and you can consistently stay on that. The other part of this is, and this was true in game one even, is the Pelicans are incredibly soft in the paint. They don't really have a center that truly understands how to defend at an NBA level with size. Mm-hmm. Tice is a nice utility center, but he's 6'8". Like, he's just not big enough.
He's a knuckleballer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Yves Missy, who's an athletic freak. I mean, it's crazy. He's a 7-footer who has this unreal level of body control in the air, whether it's blocking a shot, getting a rebound, putting it on a dunk. Mm-hmm. But you see him next to Donovan Clingan, and I talked to Warriors players and now Pelicans players about Donovan Clingan, both players and coaches, and I was like, hey, so what's your impression of DC? And every single one of them is, he is so big. Yeah. He is so big. I have all of the combine data for every player that's come through the combine since 2006 in a database. And the anthropomorphic data, how tall they are, how long their wingspan is, their standing reach, all that kind of stuff. Donovan is in the 99th percentile in almost every single thing. Like, he's one of the 5 biggest players in the NBA in the last 25 years. And you see guys like tonight, Zion Williamson, he's got blocked by Donovan twice, and he got blocked by Donovan twice on Friday night. And then later in the game, you saw the Pels, when he came back out for his second shift, do the old, I'll set up for the mid-range pull-up. Mm-hmm. And that impact, I think that pushes like a force field out from the rim, and it allows guys like Denny Avdia, like Toumani Camara, to be even more disruptive, because you've got this guy behind you that not only is going to intimidate, but protect the rim at a level it surpasses greatness. And it's been 3 games. This is going to sound insane. I tweeted this out earlier. He was coming in tonight. He had a 9.1% block rate, which would put him on par with.
Explain that a little bit. Okay, explain what a block rate is.
The amount of it's the percentage of shots that he blocks while on the floor, which
so of every shot taken, he blocks 9% of them.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and this was you look at career block rates. Manute Bol was 10.2. That
he was tall.
Yeah, but you're talking about the best shot blockers of all time. That's the kind of percentage he's doing. And now I was like, well, it's only been 3 games. It's been this. Yeah, but here's the thing. You get better at blocking shots as you get older. You start having a better understanding of what guys are trying to do to you. They'll pump fake you. And when you're young, you get in foul trouble. What DC has done so far, he's incredibly good at staying vertical, keeping his hands up. Even when a guy like Zion, who's 270 pounds, hits him in the chest, he doesn't fold and bring his arms down and foul. And I think at the end of the year, you're going to see him still at that kind of rate. That's, if you're going to say what's the thing that he does, he's a very good rebounder. He can get better. He's a great rim protector day one, which you don't see all that often unless you're Victor Wembanyama or Mark Eaton or Manute Bol or Alonzo Mourning, true dyed-in-the-wool shot-blocking rim protectors. He has got that.
And you understand why we talked about this a little bit before you got here, but you understand why fans want to get 25, 30 minutes out of Donovan Clingan, because you see the impact he makes, and then after he has the impact in the first half, you see how it changes the offense for the other teams. So he has 2 types of impact, but he's just not ready to do that. And I think this is a theme that we're going to have throughout the season as he continues to play well, as he continues to block shots. Folks are going to naturally call for him to play more. It's just not there yet. It will come. He's very young. It's very new, and he's not used to dealing with an NBA-length game, first of all, and then an NBA schedule, which is much more rigorous than a college one.
Yeah, let's check in around Christmas and see how he's doing when they've played more games than they've played in the entire college basketball season. And you throw in all the travel and being 7'3" and on a plane and getting
he's not many places he can fit
comfortably.
No,
it's
on
not.
an NBA court happens to be one of them.
Yes.
So that's
one of them.
That's good for us.
But look, DC's going to get the minutes that he can handle, and Chauncey has flat out said, I'm not going to play him when he's tired. Which, good. I don't want him out there if he's not. Just because he's big doesn't mean that's good enough. You don't want him out there reaching, fouling, putting teams in the bonus, because offensively he's still pretty raw. The putbacks and stuff, those are nice to get, but he can't go get those if he's gassed. So they're just trying to. it's a min-max situation. Like when he's out there, get everything you can out of him. As soon as he starts showing those signs of wearing down, get him off the floor.
Get him out there.
No.
Boys in the back, can we get up a tweet to talk a little bit about that Blazers bench rotation? Joe, I want to ask you a little bit about that while we have the tweet up. What was your thoughts on this today's game's bench rotation?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty similar to what they did on Friday. Obviously, Rupert got out there a little bit earlier, which was nice to see. But, I mean, you see here, yeah, I like the rotation. The players that are younger showing growth shouldn't be getting more minutes than they are. It'll be interesting to see when Sharp returns. And I think that's sort of the wrinkle is, okay, once you get Robert Williams, once you get Shaden, once you get Tease back in the lineup, then it creates a more interesting conversation.
That's 60 minutes.
Of who's going to be on the floor and who's not. And I think there'll be a bit of mixing and matching, but you want those veterans out there, like we talked about at the top of the show, Tyree. You want the veterans to play with the young dudes. You can't just do it like a hockey shift where you take all the vets off the floor, you bring all the young dudes into the game, because you need to have players like Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Matisse Thybulle out there who have been in the NBA for a long time and can make these kids feel a lot more comfortable in what they're doing because it's all so new for them. So for the time being, I like what Chauncey's doing, and I like what he said before the game about mixing and matching. And, you know, there was nothing specific about what player did this to get playing time or not. He's going to mix and match and see who earns playing time and ride that until you get some of your regulars back.
Well, here's coming from Edmund Dantes. It's saying not much of a bench that said Chauncey needs to play Scoot and especially Clingan more. To grow, they got to play, and it's not like this is a good team anyway.
They won today.
Yeah, and there's this idea that minutes equal growth.
Right.
That couldn't be further from the truth. Because
like it's not like a line chart where they run parallel.
No, and you don't put guys out there in those positions if they can't handle it. And there's a reason why Scoot Henderson is currently coming off the bench. Again, tonight, was it 2 of 12?
2 of 12.
Okay. Five rebounds, 7 assists.
But
that's good.
The floor game. Okay, how different does this look if Scoot Henderson is playing more minutes and it's all the kids that are out there on the floor with him? That 2 of 12, those 7 assists likely don't happen. And the floor balance, the spacing you get to work with, it's a more competent lineup where he can feed off of Anthony Simon spacing, Jeremy Grant spacing, DeAndre Ayton working in the pick and roll. Clingan will get the minutes he can handle. Scoot will get the minutes he can handle and earn. And as the season progresses, that's part of this. This whole just give them all the minutes they can handle. Number one, that doesn't happen in the NBA because
you're not going to put Scoot out there for 48 minutes, and you don't want that.
No, and you, honestly, if you give guys minutes just whole cloth, it doesn't go well in the locker room because it is still a business and guys are trying to earn contracts.
Well, and Tyree, like we talked about before the season, you have to put Scoot in a position to be successful. Yep. And by running him out there for 48 minutes,
you're asking him to do something that he doesn't need to do for this team. No.
Precisely.
And I also I appreciated that he was plus 20 when he was on the floor. Like when he didn't have the ball in his hands, and this was something I know Danny spoke a lot about. What can Scoot do without the ball in his hands? What is he going to look like? And I think he looked pretty good tonight without the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I thought he actually did really well in multiple opportunities. And part of that, I think, might be the Pelicans had to kind of shift and suck their defense in a little bit because they don't have a rim protector, which allows Scoot maybe a little bit more space to work with on the perimeter. I really liked his floor game. Shot diet, I wasn't thrilled with it. A little too many hang, dribble, pull-up, KD, pull-up jumpers, which KD can have those.
And it was encouraging.
Oh, my gosh.
When Scoot took his first three, it was in rhythm, exactly what you wanted, knocked it down. You're like, yes. I don't care if you go 1 of 9. If you have 8 more of those, fabulous.
Taking good looks is more important than making bad ones because that's the consistency comes from that.
Listen, another tweet.
Chucky Charms.
I
love the handle.
Love the new format. Excited for them to gel and get comfortable. Hashtag RC wrap up. Continue using that hashtag RC wrap up so you can see your tweets right here on K2 and talk a little bit more about the Blazers. Listen, I am so excited about this team right now. I am, not just because they got to win, just because of how they were able to do it. And we'll talk more about how they're able to keep that momentum after the break on the Rip City Wrap Up, episode 4. 125, 103, Portland Trailblazers, the best team in the NBA, whatever. Thank you for tuning in to the Rip City Wrap-Up again. Joe Simons, Danny Moraine, Tyree Smith, we appreciate it. Listen, I'm always going to do it. I'm always going to bring the optimism, no matter what's going on.
I like it.
It's how you keep the spirits up.
They won. There's no reason not to be excited
I feel like I can just be on top of the world right now. And I also know that one of the things that fans are going to be looking for is this going to continue? What's going on? Is this bench rotation the key to getting these Blazers wins? Keeping the momentum, I'll say this. I will say that DeAndre Ayton tonight was really good. I enjoyed that. What was it? 12 rebounds, 0 assists, but 17 points. Became the first Blazer since Zach Randolph to start the season with 3 consecutive double-doubles. I think if he's able to continue on that type of momentum, we could continue to see Blazers getting a dub, or at least in these games compared to last season.
He is going to have his hands full tomorrow. Sabonis is a really good basketball player. He had 77 double-doubles last season.
He's a truck of a human.
77. And Sacramento lost 2 close games.
Yeah, they fell apart against the Lakers last night.
They did. I'm a little surprised.
LeBron was 16 in the fourth, and I think he got it all in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And Sacramento was in charge of that game. It was Sacramento, I was talking to some folks tonight after the game. Sacramento's still trying to figure some things out. The storyline that everybody's going to always highlight is you've got the Battle of the Murrays, Chris versus Keegan. That's always a fun little family affair. But yeah, they're still trying to figure some stuff out. They added DeMar DeRozan, which
that always helps.
Look, I mean, he was the leading scorer, I think, in the fourth quarter last year in crunch time. He's a hooper's hooper, and trying to figure out how to work him in is going to be interesting. They're kind of a hodgepodge of like good players, but
it's a lot of names you know. Like when you look at the roster, it's like, oh yeah, I know 11 of those guys.
Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. Like you're just like that should be a good
NBA players. I was going to say Malik Monk
coming off the bench. He had a rough night last night.
But they can score in bunches. Like I saw, the Kings went on a 10-0 run in like 65 seconds.
And you're like, oh, okay.
So in terms of keeping this going, I think it is a tough spot for the Blazers, quite honestly, because
on the back-to-back too.
On the back-to-back, first time away from home. They're going to a gym with a team that's probably pretty upset with 2 close losses to start the season. And I think for Portland to compete, I'm going to steal a Morangism, ball need to go and hoop. The Blazers need to shoot the ball really, really well, and the transition defense has to be there in a real way for 48 minutes. Because Sacramento's going to fly.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is probably the fastest guy in the league with the ball in his hands right now. He's terrifyingly fast. When you don't get back and you don't wall off against him, he's going to just murder you. I'm actually really interested to see how much of this carries over to tomorrow night. The Blazers are quite literally at the airport right now. I believe they're getting ready to take off here in like 20 minutes. So they were turning and burning after the press conference. They were trying to get out of there quick. Even though it's a short flight, you got to get down there, get situated, and get ready for another game. It's going to be interesting to see how well they travel. Do they have any letdown? They had a great 125 points. Is nothing to scoff at.
No,
and they weren't great offensively. They were good, but they found a way to really get up and down and generate enough possessions. That was the other thing. I thought they were really aggressive at getting to the free throw line tonight.
32 attempts.
Ant put his head down, got to the line. Danny put his head down. Jeremy. The other thing was I had a fan in front of me say something tonight of like, wow, Jeremy Grant's really rebounding. I'm like, he actually has been, and it's not just been like the loose rebounds. It's been the contested ones, the ones that matter. And
not the 50-50 balls that are loose.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's going and getting them, and I think those are the kind of things that matter when you go on the road. Is that you do need to go get those plays, not just the rebounds. You just need to go. What they didn't do against the Warriors in opening night, they need to do. I
want to ask Tyree a question. Okay. Where are you at with Denny right now? Because it's not been very smooth offensively. I know that Chauncey said before the game that he's really trying to get him more shots, and he kind of took some onus about not getting him involved in the offense enough. 11 points, 4 of 12, 3 boards, 3 assists. Like Danny said, he was running around. He was contributing, so there's some stuff in the margins that won't show up in the box score. But right now with Denny, where you at?
He looks like what he was supposed to be right now. He looks like a guy that was drafted or that was traded for, who's still trying to find his position in this offense, right? Yep. Like he's taking the more shots. They brought him over to help with the defensive side, so he's still trying to get his groove in. And when I'm watching him, he's at least playing aggressive. I can say that. He's playing aggressive. He's out there trying to play with his hair off, just to provide some type of assistance to the Blazers, but you can also tell that he's still trying to feel it out. He's still trying to feel out Coach B's.
It's new.
Exactly. It is new
it's
for
new.
him. Yeah.
And the thing about Denny is if the shooting comes around, that's kind of a bonus. As long as he can knock down enough corner threes, that's the thing that I think really matters right now. But it's his playmaking, it's his aggressiveness, it's the rebounding, it's constantly putting the pedal down. And he's the kind of player where you kind of have to reel him back in as opposed to wind him up.
He's a
When
woe
you say
horse.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
and
not a giddy horse.
I'd rather have more woe horses on the team than more giddy horses, because you do need to have the balance. Like you do need some guys that maybe need to be wound up a little bit, and you need to have some guys that need to be maybe a few tranquilizers here or there.
I think that's our pull quote of the night. I'd rather have more woe horses than giddy
Giddy
horses
horses.
in this basketball
Yeah,
team.
no, I'll find a way to work that into something here coming forward. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I hate that you came up with that.
Oh my gosh. Well, do you think his play, Denny? I can't even get serious for it. Oh my gosh. Well, do you think Denny's play? Do you think he has to kind of change something in order to keep this momentum going, or do you think the way he's
it's
playing?
what he does.
It's what he does.
Yeah, he's a jerk in like the best possible way. Like
Okay.
he plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's
the annoying opponent.
a bleepity bleep.
Yeah,
Like,
he's one of those guys you want on your team, but you hate to
just
play against
hate
him.
because
Yeah.
he's relentless, and that's like he's fiery. Like he's just one of those guys, and he wears on himself probably a little bit too much at times, where he's really hard on himself.
You can hear it in interviews.
Yeah,
for sure.
and because he holds himself to a high standard, and I think that's a good thing. It's something that they've needed in this locker room. And it's going to be something it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. But the shooting is more come and go, right? Like that's, again, the theme of the night is ball going hoop. And for him, I just want to see him continue to get downhill and get at the rim, because that rim pressure, it's going to bring defenders down, and then he can start spraying the ball out to Jeremy and JG and DA. And I think, speaking of, did you guys mention DA's 3?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
that was top of the program stuff.
I was
Dan.
say, first made 3 above the break. Just
The
let
Portland
the thing go.
dads
Yeah.
are furious at us because we haven't said the name Tumani Kamara so far.
They've
been waiting.
Yeah.
They've been by the TV. The volume's
I
up.
felt the itch on my neck.
He's great tonight. 12 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, efficient from the field, knocked down a couple of threes. This is exactly what you want out of Tumani.
All-time
think
role
so.
player. All-time. He's taken the mantle of Wes Matthews, like the do whatever you need guy. I talked to him after the game. He was a little disappointed in his dunk tonight. He said he said well he said he's like, my legs were not there.
Yeah.
I was a little tired, and I got there and I went, oh
no.
He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and just push this one over the top. But he said
The CJ dunk?
Yeah, he just kind of let that one go because
Drop it into
he's
the
got to give the legs a little rest day. I think he might be doing the Norma Tech compression on the flight tonight.
Oh my! I heard CJ didn't dunk either when he was around here. I heard he wasn't.
12 total dunks.
Yeah, I think there was one season where we got to January or February before we saw the
Yeah.
first one.
It
I
was a
did
small
see
number.
a Tesla flying down the Banfield earlier today, and it had a CJ plate on it, and I'm like, well, probably not, but I have to find out. And so I went to the left lane and I looked. There's some 19-year-old kid from
Yeah,
West
okay.
Lane. Yeah, it was CJ. I could tell.
You could tell.
I could tell.
Nice car, huh?
Nice car.
Nice car.
Nice car. Good for you, sir. I hope you're watching. Thanks for tuning in.
Please, nice win too for the Blazers, 125 to 103. We got one more break. When we come back, we'll be talking a little bit of how can this team get a dub over the Sacramento Kings. Stay tuned to Rip City Wrap Up, episode 4. One more segment after the break. Stay tuned. Put the fries in the bag, McDonald's. I want my McNuggets after 125 points from the Blazers. I am so freaking hungry right now. I'm sorry. I had to just say that. 125-103 win over the New Orleans Pelicans, the first win of the season. But now they're going to have a test this entire week long. And that starts tomorrow on the road, 7 p.m. tip against the Sacramento Kings. We were talking a little bit about it for the break, but I want to get your guys' opinion. What's going to be the key for this Blazers team to try and get another win? But this one, their first win of the season on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's matching the intensity and the speed of the Kings. That's their team is. They're not going to play slow.
Especially
and get you
early,
yeah.
right, Danny?
Yeah.
Especially early on in the game.
Yeah.
Because if the momentum goes the other way immediately, it's going to be a big boulder to push up the hill the rest of the night.
And that's the thing I want to see in the first, 25 games of the season is how does this team handle adversity? What when those opportunities come there, because against the Warriors they did not. I thought against the Pelicans they did. They just failed to execute. And I think that's growth. It's the little things. But how do you handle it when shots don't go in? If you're getting good looks and they don't go, again, like Denny Avdia, I think the staggering majority of his looks in the first 3 games have been good looks. They're just not falling. Does he crumple under the pressure, or does he keep putting his head down and getting to the rim? And I think that's kind of got to be the ethos for this team, because talent-wise, there's a talent deficit when they're going up the top 6-7 teams in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And there was definitely guys in Blazers year past and the not too distant past that once those first 5 shots don't go in, then there's no shots that are going up anymore.
Yeah.
And so even though it's 4 of 12 from Denny, I'm glad to see that he has the confidence to continue to attack. And 32 free throws, that is a key. If Portland can get to the line tomorrow, slow the game down a little bit, and get some free points, that'll be a big help, because Sacramento, like we've said, they're going to fly. They're going to knock down a lot of shots. And when that happens and that crowd gets into it, it's what do you do at that point? And to your point about withstanding adversity, or what happens when adversity comes, it's going to be really interesting to see what Portland does when they're smacked in the mouth for the first time on the road.
But see, that was one of the things with this team. What they did with New Orleans, and when they shot out firing, right?
Yep.
But they were able to match that eventually, and then start to play their game with Coach Billups rotating the bench, getting the guys that were having a hot hand, and who was able to spread out the floor and give other guys chances. That's what kind of made this team start to flow a little bit more. So I agree with that. I think that this team sometimes have had a problem with maintaining that young energy momentum when the shots are going against these other veteran teams. But if they're able to maintain that momentum, maybe be down by 5, maybe 7 going against the Kings, but they're still handling everything.
Stay within shouting distance.
Yes.
Exactly.
Game
exactly.
within 5 with 5 minutes to go. That honestly, that's the goal of basically every team
Every
in the NBA.
Yeah.
Is like, because the math tells you that every game is going to be decided by 5 points. Like if you look over the course of the entire NBA season. So if you have the opportunity and you can keep it within 5 with 5 minutes to go, you give yourself a puncher's chance. Now, talent deficit, schedule, tired legs, all the different things that play into it, they matter. The Trailblazers are going to be playing their 4th game in four nights. Yeah. So or fourth game in 5 nights, and they play 5 and 7. So
Yeah.
it's
a busy week.
It's a busy week, and then it's just continued onslaught of 28 of the first 31 against the Western Conference. So you got to figure it out.
What would you say would be the best case scenario for the Blazers going into this week?
I think if you get 2 games, you'll be very happy. I think the schedule is very, very tough this week, especially having to play the majority of the games on the road. You're playing difficult opponents, not just Sacramento, but you're going into LA, and yes, you're going to have a veteran presence, but they're walking into a gym that never played him before.
Yeah.
So I think
They're going to deal with the wall.
that lunatic wall thing, which I'm sure we're going to spend way too much time on Wednesday's show, it's going to be a weird environment to be in. And all these games at a short period of time, I think if they can go 2 and 3 over this 5-day period, you'll be very happy about that.
Yeah. When I did the it's a win, it's a loss going through the games, I went through the first 30 and I either came up with 7 and 23 or 8 and 22. It's just, and I know how terrible that sounds.
It's not being
but it's
uncharitable, though. Like, folks,
yeah.
pull up the schedule at home right now. Just take a look at the first 30, and how many times do you feel like, okay, the Blazers are definitely going to get that game? There's just not a lot of them. So it's not being, overly harsh on the team or saying that they're bad or good. A lot of it is scheduling. A lot of it is back-to-backs.
It's a brutal. It's one of, There's a website out there called Positive Residual that quantifies the strength of schedule, travel, rest days, negative rest days, positive rest days. I believe the Blazers in the first 30 were something like third or fourth. It's a very, 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 very difficult schedule.
Well, and Lamar was saying, I think it was the first night, that this is like the toughest NBA schedule in the last 5 seasons for any team by some metrics.
He did. And I mean, it is. I mean, okay, they got Sacramento, then LA Clippers, OKC here at home, then a quick trip to taking on the Suns, and then they're back at, they're at New Orleans playing against the New Orleans team again. That's a tough opponents for a young Blazers squad going into early this season.
And look at the days between them. It's the November 1st, the 2nd, the 4th, the 7th. It's just boom,
it's an
boom,
onslaught.
Boom. It's basically every other night for the first 28 nights, I think is what it ended up being.
13 games in 21 days to start the season.
That's bonkers.
That's vicious.
Yeah.
You're not even getting a day off every other game. You with the back-to-backs in there. And you also have a 4-game road trip and a 2-game trip also in there. So it's not a charitable schedule to the Blazers at all.
Tyree, you're the optimist. What do you think about the Blazers this week?
I think that.
What's your best case scenario?
If they win at LA and they win at Phoenix, I think those are the games.
Those are nice wins if you pick those up.
That's what I'm saying. I think if you can win at a Phoenix Sun team that's considered every basically season with KD and Devin Booker and then now Mike Budenholzer as their new head coach, a team to go to the finals. If you could get that confidence over a young group, that's good. And if you could get it over an LA Clippers team that is consistently in the conversation with the LA Lakers, knowing on this Western Conference, that's the kind of wins that you want for a young team going into later in the season, knowing that, all right, we got the dubs over the teams that look like they're going to be championship contenders. That means we can compete. We just aren't either. Ball isn't going to hoop, or the rotation isn't looking the way that it should, and we got to pick something else.
You're going to deal with the inequities that come with young players, which is
Yes.
everyone wants to think that development is linear. It's not. For as good as Donovan Clingan has looked, he's going to have a game where he's like Zach Edey and fouls out in 5 minutes. This is the nature of the beast when you're talking about young guys. Now, he's also going to have games where he absolutely balls out. You're just going to have those games. The most successful NBA players, it's not because they're the most skilled, it's because they're the most skilled and consistent. So young guys, you just have a little more deviation from
Peyton Manning threw 26 interceptions his rookie season. So even the greats are going to have struggles when they first start their career. And like Chauncey said in the postgame, Donovan's going to see guys that are a size that he hasn't played against before.
Yeah,
that's just the reality of the situation.
It's going to get a little scary, but it doesn't mean that he's not going to develop or grow or
Absolutely
be able
not.
to handle those guys later going on this season. Guys, episode 4 of the Rip City wrap-up coming to a close. We appreciate you joining and tuning in. Blazers got the first win of the season, 125-103. They'll be taking on the Sacramento Kings on the road, 7 p.m. tip. Episode 5 of the Rip City wrap-up will be here for you tomorrow after the game. But top stories and all of the latest weather is coming up on our next newscast right now. Appreciate you joining us. Stay tuned for the break. News is coming up next. See you next time.
Go Cougs.